everyone. I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra, and today I'm talking to AashnaTaneja, who had one of the greatest defining moments in her life when she ran the New York City Marathon last year, November 7th of 2021. And she received the Guinness World Record Holder title, which is a great coveted title, as the fastest marathon runner dressed in Indian attire and sandals. So congratulations, Aashna. That was a 26.21 mile race in New York City Marathon. And we know that it's an annual marathon and one of the world's marathon majors, which also has Berlin, London, Boston, and Chicago. First of all, what an accomplishment. Congratulations. I mean, it is.
Thank you.
It's a feat of endurance, grit, will, determination, indomitable will, I would say, more than anything else, to go through this, not just make it to the finish line, but get this coveted title. So tell us how you all started with this.
Absolutely. So there's so much to tell. Where do I start? I have never been a marathon runner. And so that was very challenging to me. And my mantra has always been, there's always growth on the other side of fear. And just like everything else in life, I think I've run towards something that scares me faster towards it, with discipline and determination and perseverance. So COVID happened. And all the gyms and all the martial arts or any other activities that I was doing in terms of athletics, everything was shut down. And we all needed to really focus on our mental health and on physical health. What do? We have our life at home, we're by ourselves. So how do we really focus, and how can I take all that energy and all that resilience that we all have built up at this point and put it to use somewhere? So one day I just went outside to run. I had never been a runner and I thought I'll give it a try. I went outside and maybe I lasted a mile. So that was a reality check. I got some fresh air, so that was great. I came back in and I wondered what it is that, I just needed to do, if I needed to continue to practice it. Why do I want to do it? And what does that mean to me? So I went back out again the next day and I gave it a try, and I kept doing it and I kept doing it for months until I was able to run 4 or 5 miles, which was, to me at the time, was such an accomplishment. I never thought I would be able to do it. And I remember being very proud when I hit my 7-mile marker and then my 10-mile marker. And it took months and months and months of training.
Of course.
And
regimen and your diet and the whole
everything. I had to be very disciplined in terms of, and also it involved a lot of focus. So I meditated. I was meditating to keep myself very centered. I've been very blessed by a spiritual master to have been taught that. I was on a particular diet. I am watching my sleep. I'm also doing the work as we're all caught at home. And I'm going every single day outside to run. And not every day is the same. So some days you have a good run, just like in life, some days are bad. I think what matters is that you, especially on your bad days, you get up and you go. And you do something better that will make you feel better after, And so I just kept going and I kept going. And I was very proud that I was able to do something that was not in my skill list. And that was the motivation, to kind of perceive something and to do something in life that you're not good at, but still try to attempt to do it. And how do you tap into your own resilience and the discipline and everything you've learned, the morals in life, the ethical values and principles, and just apply it to as small as just running outside? And how do you tackle new challenges in your life? So I think it's the same principle that I just took and applied it outside. And that was the beginning of it. And then 2021, early on, came around. And February, I just ran my first ever half marathon. And I was very, very proud. There was a storm outside. It was 20 degrees.
That was in Queens, right?
Yes, that was in Queens and Rockaway Beach. And there was rain and sleet and all of that was happening by the ocean. And we finished it. And that was the most important thing, finishing. And I said to my friends, oh, one day I hope I can train enough. And one day I have so much strength that I can actually do a marathon. I'm so inspired by the people that can do that, because it's not just running. It tells you how much determination they have, how much power they have. And more than physical, I think it's a mental strength that you need to tap into. And so all of those things didn't make sense to me until I ran the half marathon. And 2 months later, I said, there's never a good time. What am I waiting for? God has blessed me with all my limbs and my mental health and my physical health. And so why can't I just go and give it a try? And May happened, the registration opened, and they announced, New York City Marathon announced that they're doing their 50th anniversary run. And I was like, voila, that's it. We're doing it, I guess.
And when you say you tap into your mental resilience and your physical strength and endurance, you had a bad accident a couple of years ago. And it was very difficult even to walk, let alone run.
Right.
To talk about resilience,
Yeah, so I think that a lot of challenges we have are mental. We are our biggest critic. We are the ones who stop ourselves by telling ourselves sometimes that, oh, this is not me, or I can't do it. And, maybe I can just let it be and just accept what it is. And acceptance is a beautiful thing. But then another part of it is also pushing yourself to see what you're capable of. And so 2 years ago, this was somewhere upstate New York, Canada, Niagara Falls border. And I just got into an accident where I was hit by a car, me and my father. And it was very hard to walk then. I spent a few days in the hospitals on both sides of the border. It took months and months of rehabilitation to walk and to be able to gain the strength that I had gained. But every single day, I had to remind myself that I am much more than that. I'm not going to be defined for the rest of my life by the accident that happened or an event that occurred into my life. I am more than my story. I am more than my experiences in life. It's what you take from them and how you tap into them and how you come on the other side is the most important part. Because every single day we're going through something emotional, financial, or physical that causes a strain on our lives. So how do you get on the other side is more important. So I tapped into it. I started rehabilitating. I signed up for CrossFit classes, even though it was just, using a plain barbell and no weights. And so tried other things as well to build up my strength again and did not shy away when I needed help. And slowly and eventually, I was able to be up and feel that I had probably come on the other side of it, that I was feeling better mentally and physically.
It's all about reprogramming your mind and telling yourself you can overcome this, and those mental physical restrictions that we put upon ourselves, and it's try to, hey, I can do this, and you did it. And not only you did it, but you were dressed in an Indian attire and sandals, sneakers. So and this was a tribute to your mom.
Yes, it was. Yeah, she was an amazing lady, amazing woman. So proud to have called her my mom. I lost her 12 years ago because of a physical health issue. And it always, I looked up to her, and it always occurred to me that women in general, we're always so nurturing and we take care of our families. And, she would wake up at 5 a.m. and go to bed at 11. And she was a teacher, and she would come back from school and teach the kids who were so less fortunate and provide them education and take care of her family. So she would always be on her feet, and she would wear these sandals, sort of very similar to what I ran in, all day long, from morning to evening. She would not stop. And I would look at not just my mom, but my parents. How do you get up every single day and give it your best and just trust the process, but still do your part and have so much resilience to overcome as we went through life? And as I was growing up, I was starting to recognize the challenges in life and the blessings. And I would wonder, how do they do it? What do I have to do to be like them one day? And so I would watch her look so beautiful in her Indian saris and her suits, and then wear those sandals like she did and be on her feet and accomplish so much more. And when I thought of that, I thought, oh, what is marathon in front of that? It's nothing. If she can do that, then this has to be easy. And if I can do it, any other girl that's out there, younger, older, anybody can do it. All you need to do is just focus on the first step you need to take. Don't worry about the finish line. Just take one step and focus on your health. Because I really feel like if you focus on your mental health and your physical health, imagine how much more we can offer to the loved ones that are around us. And if we are here longer and we're taking care of ourselves, we're going to be able to share more of those things with the loved ones around. So it was very, very inspiring to watch my mother and my dad, and to kind of tap into the resilience I've seen day in and day out, and pay a tribute to her as a very big thank you of everything she's taught and all the good values that they instilled.
Right. Yeah. And you work for the Healthcare Association of New York City. What is a charity that you were supporting in this marathon?
Yeah, I do work for Healthcare of New York, Healthcare Association of New York State, but the charity that I was supporting for New York City Marathon was Team for Kids. And so you have to volunteer to be able to give an entrance into the marathon. You have to be able to raise money for a charity to qualify to run in the marathon. So I partnered with Team for Kids, TFK, and they're a part of the New York Road Runners, which is NYRR, and they kind of take that money that you raised and help the kids that are in the New York City for their development. And so that was very motivating as well. And I knew that there was a cause that I was also supporting, while there was also a principle and a motivation other than that I was running for. So it was for that cause. Yeah.
And the previous record holder was from India for this Guinness World Record. And you clocked in at 4 hours, 55 minutes and 54 seconds.
Yes, right? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There was a woman who had done that to promote handloom many years ago, and she finished it in 5 hours and 15 minutes. I just knew that I had to be consistent. Again, speaking of ethics and principles, consistency is more important. Discipline is very important in times like that. There were moments where I thought maybe I can sprint faster and I'll finish.
And you were half an hour in the medical tent.
I was, after I finished the race, because at that point, running in sandals is running is not easy, that distance especially, let alone in sandals. So yes, my toenails had fallen off.
Wow.
And my toes were bleeding, and a lot was going on. And, when I stopped, I realized that I had crossed the finish line and I had broken the record. And not just that, I actually danced across the finish line. And I smiled the whole way through. I was doing Bhangra on my last 5-6 miles. And so it was a beautiful experience.
What an exhilarating feeling you must be having at that time. Share that. I mean, it must be like, I conquered the world. That's what it
Yes, I did. It was not just there's something that I never thought that would be my goal, or I would be able to do it when I even said it. I had faith in the work I had put in, that it would pay off. But then knowing now I'm 5 miles away, I'm 4 miles away, that's it, like 600 meters away. It was nothing. And as painful as it was getting at the end, there was just this rush from the crowd, from my own, mental repetition of thanking the Lord and all of the things that were going on in my head. It was so, so exciting. I knew I was this close. And every day that I went out, rain, sunshine, storms, and ran 15 miles, 20 miles, came back and like put ointments or iced everything, I knew everything was coming to fruition in that particular moment. That I had done it, that I'm about to do it. And this is an amazing moment. I can't even describe it in words, what I felt. I cried. I cried right after I crossed the finish line on my knees, just thanking the Lord. and you know, all the support. My family was there and my friends were there. My loved ones were there. People who ran with me, who made videos to submit to the Guinness World Record. Everybody played a role. But at the end, you know, to make that happen that day for me, but to capture it for me, but it all came to fruition. Every single day when I doubted, but still I overcame and went outside. I was like, how bad could it be, right? You have to go out. This is it. This is it. It doesn't come back around. The time is gone. So it all came to fruition. It was beautiful.
Now, you do a lot of meditation daily, and do you think meditation actually helped you to focus and concentrate on what was going on and keep yourself going up to the finish line?
Yeah, absolutely. So meditation has physical benefits, mental benefits to stay very centered, right? And also spiritual benefits. And so as I practice meditation, you know, every morning when I got up, before I even went out to run, I spent some time meditating. The idea was to center myself. The idea was to recognize and understand the fears and kind of sit with them. Also, to focus on what really matters, to understand and, you know, mentally and also physically and spiritually. So I did this mental repetition of, you know, the mantra, and I would spend some time sitting in it, and I would center myself and not get anxious and not even think of, you know, the finish line or what the end goal is, or I have to run 3 hours today. And that's on my, I had a table every day, right? There was an Excel sheet that I needed to kind of go through. I wouldn't even think about it. I would think of one step and, you know, one step more and one step more. And if I weren't that centered and I had not put in hours in meditation, I don't think I would have gotten that blessing. I don't think I would have been able to be mentally and physically prepared for it, like, you know, the way I was. And even the day of the marathon, I found myself in very tough moments, crossing the Bronx Bridge, I remember, when it was so hard and it was last 6 miles. I was close yet so far because the pain level had gone up. And I remember tapping into my meditation.
Yep.
And tapping into the Simran, as we call it, as I did, and thinking and thanking all of those things in those moments. And I realized that the more I went inwards, what was happening outside was so much easier.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, and then I found myself doing a bhangra.
That's what meditation does. So here you're an example of that. And so, you know, we know that, you know, we need to have a proper exercise regimen, diet, meditation to overcome your emotional and your physical challenges and restrictions, because that is such a powerful tool one carries with, you know. So what would be advice? Because I know there were so many people who ran the marathon last year. Actually, to get a sense to our people, you know, people are watching this, you know, in 2019, there were over 98,000 applicants for the New York City Marathon, and over 53,000 actually were finishers. In 2021, how many were there?
30,000 people ran the New York City Marathon, their 50th anniversary. Yeah. And it was their first one right after COVID. So they had just opened it up. Yeah.
Ashna, you were invited to the Indian consulate in New York, and you met up with Consul General Ambassador Ranveer Jaiswal.
Yeah, after the marathon, I had shared that with the consulate here in New York. And very shortly after, I was invited by the Indian Consul General, Ranveer Jaiswal. We I'd like to share this picture. We met up and we spent some time talking about, just my story, how I got there, and, what we hope to accomplish together as well, and how I can actually be of assistance to the embassy as they offer programs and they're thinking of opening up again and offering so many other courses and events that could happen, and how I can be inspirational to women there. So we talked at length and about the whole story and the process, and I was so honored to meet with him. It was an amazing meet, and I look forward to continue to work with them in any way possible.
That's great. That's wonderful news. When you made it to the finish line, the feeling of exhilaration, jubilation, it's like, hey, I conquered the world, and there's Bhangra.
I am. Yes, it was an amazing feeling.
Well, thank you very much, AashnaTaneja, who's inspiring us and empowering us, made history as Guinness World Record Holder, as the fastest marathon dressed in traditional Indian dress. Thank you very much, AashnaTaneja, for being a trailblazer and helping so many other people by creating this new pathway for success, and that we can do whatever we can, and the sky's the limit, and no physical or mental emotional challenge should come in the way. You did it, and I'm sure that will inspire so many other women. I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay positive.